Hi guys, welcome back to Silver Lining. In today's episode, we are going to talk about how authenticity is the key to your success. If you don't know where to start on how to be successful, start by being yourself. When you are yourself and you're authentically you put off the highest vibration that you could ever emulate in this life. They did a scientific study that authenticity truly is the highest vibration. So when you're yourself, you're going to attract the things that are meant for you in this life. Nobody could do it like you. Okay, so you're going to stand out from the rest if you are yourself. 99% of people in this life have a problem and a hard time being themselves. And it's understandable because in this life, society puts all of these pressures on us to be a certain type of person or follow a certain type of path. But to be honest, the only way you could truly feel success and feel like you are accomplishing what you really want to accomplish in this life is by being yourself. Say you go to a job interview, right? There's going to be 99 people that are acting just like the other. But if you act like yourself, the person who's interviewing you is going to be like, wow, they're different. Like, I see them set apart from everybody else. And the coolest thing about being yourself is that you know how to do it. It's something you inherently know how to do. So you don't have to try hard. Also, when you are yourself, you know truly and authentically what you like and what you don't like in this life. It's easy to figure out what your passion is if you are living in your authenticity. And I promise you, things are just going to start flowing. If you're in your authenticity, it's just going to be like easy. Life is going to become easy. And, I've struggled with this a lot in my life. I'm 29 years old and I grew up with a lot of societal pressures on me, as we all do, but especially from my immediate family. The parent I lived with 90% of my life really had these extreme expectations of me to be what I think is the version they never got to be. They wanted me to reach all the accolades that they never reached in their life and were like kind of vicariously living through me. And it's just so exhausting to live like that. Also, 99% of the people around me were like, I remember I used to say this, like everybody is a carbon copy of each other. And I was just like, oh my God, I don't fit in. Like, I've always been the black sheep in the friend group, in my family. Like, I know what it feels like to feel ostracized and kind of like shamed for being yourself. And it was hard, but you know what? I'm really, really, really grateful that I never fell into suit of being just like everybody else. I'd much rather not fit in than pretend that I'm somebody else. Like, I can't pretend to be somebody else or like pretend to have certain emotions about certain things that I just don't have. Like, it's a blessing and a curse for me. I can't fake it. And I'm very grateful that I can't fake it. But a lot of people fake it through their whole lives. And I don't want you to waste your life trying to fit in with everybody else. Like, it's cool to be yourself. That's the cool thing. And guess what? When you're yourself, you attract all of your blessings. Like, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, is so pleased with you when you are living in your authenticity, because you're not faking it. You're not bending over backwards to like fit in with other people. You are living as the person God created you to be. And that is so beautiful and truly so rare, because it takes self-love, unconditional self-love, to live in that authentic vibration. And trust me, I understand how hard it is to truly be yourself in this life, because you do face a lot of judgment. For me, at least, my whole life, I was bullied, judged, like, for everything I did. I remember I'd wear certain clothes, right, or do a certain hairstyle, and people would make fun of it or like ostracize me because of it. But then a couple months later, they're doing it. People are going to judge you in this life, but it's them projecting their insecurities onto you. They wish they could be themselves. And funny thing is, they can, but they're too scared to. They're too scared to step out of line. And that's what separates really successful people from not successful people. Are you going to take a risk on yourself? Are you going to live as the person you want to be in this life, or are you going to pretend to be like everybody else? How boring and unfulfilling is it to pretend to be like everybody else? There are 1,000,001 versions of that person, but there is only one you. I mean, it's kind of evident which one I would pick. I understand the struggles of picking the option to be unapologetically you. It comes with a lot of criticism. You have to build that thick skin and resilience in your heart, in your soul, in your mind, in your body to carry on with that life. I think the key to be authentically you and thrive in that is by loving every part of you. Loving the good, the bad, the ugly, the mistakes you've made in the past, the mistakes you're gonna make in the future. Like, loving you unconditionally and having such a strong foundation in who you are is going to take you so far in this life, in every area of life. And I think that is the key to being comfortable with being yourself. It's not about the clothes you wear. It's not about what you look like. It's not about trying to copy. I've noticed this so much recently. It's like everybody, especially with like the rise of social media, it's like everybody wants the same bag. They want the same clothes. They want to do their hair the same. They want to do their makeup the same. It's like, can anybody be original anymore? And the people that are doing their own thing kind of get looked down upon. But I'm telling you, they get looked down upon because those people are so insecure and empty that they have to pass judgment on somebody else to make themselves feel good. So if you're getting any criticism for like doing you, block it out. It is not your energy to take on. That is their energy. Wish them well and send that energy back to, I like to do this thing where my medium mentor taught me this. Like when I'm saging my home, right? Talk to the energy in my home and be like, okay, whoever wishes me well, good for you. And whoever wishes me any ill intent in any way, I send it back to the rocks and the sands where no one lands. Don't send it back to the person. Send it back to a place where nobody's gonna go. Because you don't want that karma on you to send it back to a person. And you just have to pray for people like that, truly, because you know what, in this life you could be the prettiest person, right? But if you're empty on the inside and you have no grasp of who you are, it's going to turn everybody away. It may have people come to you for a second, right? Because you're beautiful, whatever, but or dress the nicest or have the nicest things. It's gonna have people come to you, but for the wrong reasons. And energy doesn't lie in this life. And like I said in the beginning, authenticity is the highest vibration you could give off. That is going to make you the most magnetizing version of yourself, the most wanted, desired person, is simply by being yourself. How easy is that? Like, and I don't know, it's a journey to get to a place of self-love unconditionally. And for me, like, I still, some days I struggle with insecurities, but I think back to where those insecurities started. It's not even from me. It was from people that projected their insecurities onto me. So like when I start feeling, insecure about my looks or my body, I think back to the people that bullied me for my looks and bullied me for the way my body was. And looking back at pictures of me, I wasn't fat at all. I wasn't ugly. Like the people that were bullying me were. And not to judge their appearance, but it's an energetic thing. Like their energy was so ugly that they had to make me feel bad about my light. And another thing I want to get across is that when you're living in your authenticity and being yourself, it's going to piss people off. It's going to. Light irritates dark, period. And this is something I've learned along the way of my healing journey and just being myself and living in my truth, is that it's going to piss a lot of people off. And that's okay. That separates the people that are supposed to be in your life from the people that aren't. And the more you step into your authenticity, the more you are firmly yourself and don't let anybody or anything waver you from that, It's going to attract the people that are meant to be there, and it's gonna like shake up the relationships that aren't supposed to be there. When I was not pretending, but like even just keeping quiet around things or people that I knew like didn't align with me, just to like save face, or like, not have an argument with my family, things like that. It just was I was met with so much resistance, and life was hard at that point, and I was just so depressed and anxious all the time. Like, am I saying the right things? Am I doing the right things? Are they gonna be mad at me if I don't agree with them? Like, something I thought about earlier today was when I was in relationships, I kept quiet for a lot of the relationship when I really shouldn't have. I struggled with an abandonment wound since I was really young. My father and mother got divorced when I was not even 1. And my grandpa, who was like the closest person to me, male figure in my life, that was kind of my father figure in this life, he passed away when I was 12. And it just left such a hole in my heart. Like, from my dad leaving to my grandpa passing away, that male abandonment wound was so big that I would just grasp onto anyone or anything that had some male energy. And the masculine energy that I was attracting was very voided and empty, because I was empty in that sense. And I let everything go. I wasn't being myself when I was in these relationships. Like, they would cheat on me, lie to me, like abuse me physically, mentally, sexually, like all these things. And I took it and I accepted it, and I didn't speak up. Like, I think it's also because I grew up in a home where I wasn't allowed to speak my truth or be myself. And that really clouded my vision of what really am I? Like, what really are my values? And it took me being disrespected so many times to like finally be like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not going to allow people to walk all over me, whether it be my own mother, my father, my brother, my best friend. I'm going to cut you off. Period. I'm going to cut you off. I'm not dealing with this anymore. And I mean, I'm 29. So I hope this message gets across to people younger than me, so you don't have to like wait until you're almost 30 to figure it out. But I just pray that you have the strength and the courage to be yourself unapologetically before you have to learn so many lessons. Like, get ahead of the curve, get ahead of, the pain and the suffering that you have to go through to learn these lessons. But to be honest, like, I'm very grateful that I went through all of that, because now there's no if, ands, or buts. Like, I remember in those toxic relationships, I'd be like, I'm done with them, I'm not going back. But then like that little part of me, it's like the angel and the devil would be like, go back. That's what you deserve. That's what you want. No. Now I know how to love myself. Like, I learned how to love me. I was never loved in this life. I wasn't shown any type of healthy love in my life by anybody in my life. So it was up to me to love me. And I love myself so much now that I am comfortable being myself, and I don't have to answer to anybody. Like, I don't have the most people around me, but I'm happy about that, because I'd rather have nobody around me and like authentically be me and love myself than have people around me that are around me for the wrong reasons or projecting their insecurities onto me. I'm just not dealing with it anymore. And I have found so much success in this past year of just being myself and cutting those people off and like living my truth. Like, I found my purpose. My purpose is to help others heal and like find the light in the darkness. I have survived so many dark times, and I'll get into more stories on this podcast, but you guys probably wouldn't believe the things I've been through. And luckily, I don't look anything like what I've been through. And you don't have to look anything like what you've been through. You don't have to fall victim of what you've been through. Like, you don't have to live in the past or live to please anybody but yourself. Because at the end of the day, nobody else is there to give you that fulfillment besides yourself. And the only way to define what actually fulfills you is to be yourself, period. It's that simple. And we make it so much harder, and we let all of these outside interferences like get in the way of our true path and loving ourselves unconditionally. And I just want to put an emphasis on that. Like, love yourself. Because if you don't love yourself, nobody's going to love you. Believe in yourself, or nobody is going to believe in you, you know? And stop absorbing other people's energies that are not uplifting you. It's time to be selfish, and it's time to cut off the people that are there for the wrong reasons or are not uplifting you. If you are telling somebody your dreams, goals, aspirations, I don't care how big they are, if somebody's looking down on that, cut them off. And I know that sounds cutthroat, but cut them off. And I know it's hard for like empaths. I'm an empath. Like, I feel others' emotions, and you know, I see the best in people, and I forgive a lot. And I used to forgive way too easily, but like, now my standards are so high for the friends that are in my life, for the lover, you know, like any person, place, or thing, you have to fit my level of love for myself or above, or you're not in here anymore. Because you're not going to distract me from achieving my goals in this life just because you don't have the courage and strength to achieve yours or be yourself, period. So I hope this helped somebody today. I love you so much. Don't be afraid to be yourself. It is going to be the best decision you ever made. I promise you, you're going to get everything you want in this life by being authentically you. Everything. I love you. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.